The following has been a Shirt Off Your Back production. ShirtOffYourBackAZ.com. Hello and welcome to the Shirt Off Your Back podcast, where we always drink responsibly. So I did a blog post recently, just before this past weekend, and I wanted to touch on some things with a podcast episode, because there were some things that I didn't necessarily want to flesh out, nor was I able to flesh out in the blog post. First and foremost, I want to say when it comes to alcohol and weight loss, when it comes to alcohol in general, you should enjoy alcohol responsibly, enjoy it safely. This is in no way intended to be any kind of clinical advice. If you're struggling with any kind of addiction issues, be it alcohol or otherwise, I really encourage you to go get help. Reach out to someone, find some professional help. There's no shame in asking for help and leaning on some services and leaning on some people that specialize in treating those unique needs and treating those addictions. Our thoughts and prayers and well wishes, of course, are with anyone battling any kind of alcoholism, any kind of addiction. You know, there's people out there that depend on you and love you and probably want you around for a little bit longer. So it's no way intended to be any kind of clinical advice, but definitely want to encourage anyone that thinks they may have some issues with enjoying a beer, enjoying a drink now and then, and taking it a little bit too far more often than they should. Seek some professional help, please. But when it comes to alcohol and weight loss, alcohol does not have to be off limits, right? It's just like anything else in the sense that it's calories. Now, it's calories from alcohol, it's calories from a different source rather than calories from protein or calories from carbs or whatever, but it is counted as calories just like anything else. And if I were going to put anything in the definition of empty calories, I might put alcohol in there in the sense that there isn't a whole lot of nutritional value. And I tend to think of anytime you're drinking your calories, I almost tend to think those as empty calories anyway. But weight loss is hard, and weight loss is hard enough without, we're just going to stick with beer. Weight loss is hard enough without beer, right? Generally, beer coincides with some sweet, salty treats, long nights, and it generally people don't just have one beer. That might be fair to say. And fluctuations in weight, they're going to happen for a host of reasons anyway. That number on the scale doesn't always make sense, right? You can do everything right Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and you actually gain a pound or two on Thursday. Alcohol can just further complicate that process, but it doesn't have to. It can take some careful planning. It can take some awareness of how alcohol affects weight loss, what it does, why it's harder to lose weight when you drink, because knowledge is power, right? A little bit of knowledge can go a long way. But I want to outline a few basic tips and a few basic tricks for you. So first things first, I want to mention why it's hard to enjoy alcohol and lose weight. So quite simply, as I said, you're drinking calories, and that's not ideal. But the basic science behind it is your body is going to burn calories from alcohol first, right? That's more or less kind of what makes you feel tipsy or makes you start to feel drunk. And when you have too many, your body is going to absorb that alcohol first, and it's going to be processed by your liver and but it's going to seek those calories first. So any food that you're taking in with that drink is going to get stored as energy because your body assumes we're going to need that energy later. We're going to need those calories later because your body knows that there's alcohol in the system. And you can only do that so many times before your body starts to adjust and starts to look for that alcohol. That's why alcoholism can be so dangerous, because your body can become severely dependent on that alcohol. setting aside the calorie aspect of it. But essentially, if you don't burn that energy, you don't burn that food that you're taking in with alcohol, it's going to turn to fat. And your body is going to burn the calories from alcohol first. So inevitably, that pizza, that wings, those pretzels, those chips, whatever you're eating with the alcohol, that's more than likely a lot of it's going to get stored as energy, because most often people are going out for a drink at night. They're not going to go exercise after they drink. They're not going to have the expedient or immediate opportunity to burn off those calories. So if you don't burn away that energy turns to fat. And think about the food that's often taken in with alcohol. We already mentioned it a little bit. Things like pizza, wings, pretzels, chips. It's usually foods that are very high calorie density, very, very high amount of calories per serving. They tend to be loaded with carbs. They're salty. Pretzels, chips, pizza, wings, etc. Ton of calories per serving per gram. So a few practical tips. Have a plan of how many drinks you will limit yourself to, and tell your friends, and have your friends hold you to it. Have your friends say, hey, remember, you're only going to have 2 drinks. And then switch to water or seltzer water or something like that. Look for lower calorie drink options that you might not have considered before. I know a lot of times, some more, macho guys or whatever, like, no, I only drink beer. No, I only drink, this hard drink or whatever. They wouldn't be caught dead with something like a White Claw or a Truly or some kind of seltzer, but they're generally low carb and low calorie. Ask the bartender or the server if you're not sure of what to get. Say, hey, I'm on a diet plan. I'm looking for something that's low carb, low calorie. Can you help me out? And it's their job to answer questions. More than likely, they're gonna find something for you. They're gonna find something you like that you would recommend, or that they would recommend. And I don't really drink that often. I have a beer now and then, watching a game or going out with friends, but it's not like a regular occurrence for me at all. So I'm not super well versed in like, oh, you should drink this. Like this specific drink is super low carb, super low calorie. I don't really know anything like that. So, but a waiter, a waitress, a bartender, it's their job to answer those questions. And if they don't know, there's a good chance they can find out for you. Chances are, if you are on a diet, you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to build some muscle, you're trying to eat healthier, you're going to be on some kind of calorie budget, right? Some kind of budget when it comes to protein and carbs. But let's just keep it simple and say you're on a calorie budget. You give yourself 250, 300 calories for drinks. Do your best to stick to that. I wouldn't even go 5 calories over, just because of how, I don't want to say they're more volatile, but just of the way your body processes alcohol and the things that you tend to eat with alcohol. I would be much more hardline with that sort of budget and those parameters. Do your best to stick to that. And you're going to feel better if you drink less anyway. So this isn't me like, trying to bring back prohibition or anything like that, or saying anybody shouldn't drink. But it is a lot harder to stay healthy and drink alcohol and lose weight and drink alcohol. So load up on some low calorie, low density foods before you go out for drinks. Eat a big salad, right? Get a bag salad at the grocery store, keep it in your fridge, or freeze it if you think it'll keep, and eat a big bowl of salad before you go out. And that way your stomach at least has some volume of food in it, and it may not be super calorie dense food. It may not be anything super rich in like proteins or anything like that. But use that volume to fill up your stomach for low calories. And that way, if you go out for a drink or two, you're less inclined to reach for wings. You're less inclined to reach for that bowl of pretzels. You're less inclined to reach for calorie dense snacks, something super salty if you ate a big salad beforehand. And lastly, if you enjoy something like wine or hard seltzer that I mentioned, cut that alcoholic drink with some plain or flavored seltzer. Not only are you going to cut the calories in half, you're going to reduce the alcohol percentage. I work with a lot of women that enjoy wine, and I just work with a lot of women in general. But I work with a lot of women that enjoy wine, and that's one trick that I learned from them is flavored seltzer or plain seltzer, just to trim some of the substance off of the wine. So quite simply, when it comes to alcohol, you're drinking calories, and that's not ideal. But again, the basic science behind it is your body is going to burn calories from alcohol first. So any food you're taking in with that drink is going to get stored as energy. If you don't use that energy is going to get turned to fat. All right. Well, be safe out there. Drink responsibly. Enjoy your life. Again, there's people out there that love you. There's people out there that depend on you. If you are going to go out and have a good time, designate a driver, call an Uber, call a Lyft, walk home, do what you got to do to stay safe. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Do what you got to do to stay safe. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.